The storm came in off the Atlantic like a living thing, all wind and salt and rage. I stood in my glass and stone villa, watching the security lights paint wet circles on the driveway, waiting. The gate camera had chimed 3 minutes ago. I knew who it was before I pulled up the feed. My daughter. 15 years of silence, and there she was, standing at my door with luggage. I walked to the entrance slowly, feeling my bad knee complain, the one that never healed right after the collapse on Meridian Street. The one I got crawling through a sewage main at 3 a.m. because the contractor said the respiratory gear would be there tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. The gear never came. But the settlement did. $36 million. Public record. That's how she found me. I opened the door. Madison stood there with her husband Tyler, his parents Gloria and Norman, all of them soaked from the short walk between the car and the porch. 4 people, 8 suitcases. Maddie didn't smile, didn't hug. She looked past me into the house like she was inspecting property. "We've come for our share," she said. Not hello, not dad. "We also need our own rooms in the villa. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the hype button and support this channel with a like. And tell us below, have you ever faced something like this?" I felt something cold and clean slide through my chest. Not anger. Clarity. 15 years of silence, and suddenly I'm Airbnb premium. I smiled. "Come in." Tyler was the first to step forward, shaking rain off his expensive coat, the kind you buy to look wealthy, not the kind you buy when you actually are. He had that realtor handshake ready, the one that's supposed to communicate trust and authority. "Simon, appreciate you seeing us on such short notice." Simon. Not Dad. Not even Mr. Harlow. "No notice at all, really," I said, still smiling. "But come in, all of you." Gloria made a sound in her throat like she was suppressing complaint about the weather, the timing, the indignity of having to actually travel to claim what she clearly thought was already hers. Norman just looked around, already calculating. I could see it in his eyes. He was mapping the place. Exits, value, weaknesses. They dragged their luggage across my threshold like they were checking into a resort. Lena appeared in the hallway behind me, silent as smoke. My wife, my partner, my firewall. She wore dark gray, no jewelry, her hair pulled back. She didn't greet them. She just watched. I saw Maddie's eyes flick to her, then away, then back. There was something in that look. Resentment. Hatred, maybe. Lena had taken her place. That's how Maddie would see it. Never mind that Maddie had abandoned that place before she was old enough to drink legally. "Living room," I said, gesturing. The villa opened up into a massive space, floor-to-ceiling windows facing the Atlantic, dim recessed lighting that Lena had designed herself, furniture that cost more than my first car but looked like it had always been here. Simple. Clean. Mine. Maddie sat first, choosing the chair that faced the view, Queen selecting her throne. Tyler stood behind her for a moment, then sat on the arm of her chair, protective, possessive. Gloria and Norman took the sofa, and Norman actually put his feet up before remembering himself and pulling them back down. "Beautiful place," Tyler said. His voice had that consultant smoothness, the kind that makes you want to check your wallet after he leaves. "Really beautiful. Must be a lot to manage, though. At this point in your life." At this point in your life. He was 45, maybe. I was 60. 15 years is nothing when you've spent 30 of them being ground down to paste by municipal infrastructure work. But to him, 60 meant senile, weak, controllable. "I manage fine," I said. Of course. Tyler leaned forward. "But Simon, we're here because we care. Maddie's been worried about you. We all have. And when we heard about the settlement, congratulations on that, by the way, truly, we realized you might need some support, some oversight, to make sure nobody takes advantage." Nobody takes advantage. I looked at Maddie, She met my eyes and didn't flinch. She'd practiced this. I could see it. The concerned daughter routine, the dutiful child finally stepping up. "We've drawn up a plan," Maddie said. She pulled a folder from her bag. She'd come prepared. "It's really simple, Dad. We'll handle your finances. Make sure everything's secure. We'll take care of medical decisions too, so if anything happens, you're protected. And we'll move in here, obviously. This place is too big for 2 people. It makes sense for family to be close." Family. Gloria made an approving sound. "We'd take the East Wing, I think. Norman and I. Close enough to help, but enough privacy for everyone." Norman was nodding. "The boy could use the pool house. Tyler and Madison would obviously want the master suite near you, Simon. For emergencies." They were talking about my house like it was a hotel they'd already booked. Like the rooms were theirs. Like I wasn't sitting right there. I watched Tyler's left hand. He kept tapping his thumb against his thigh. Nervous energy. Desperate energy. A tell. This wasn't about care. This was about cash flow. He needed money. And he needed it now. Lena moved to the corner of the room where the security tablet was mounted. She didn't say anything. She just tapped the screen once. Recording started. Video and audio. Time-stamped, encrypted. Backed up to 3 separate secure servers. "We'll need you to sign some paperwork," Maddie said. "Tonight, ideally. Durable power of attorney, financial authority, just so we can handle things smoothly going forward." "You want control of my money," I said. "We want to protect you." Maddie's voice didn't change. Still smooth, still warm. But her eyes were flat. "You've worked hard your whole life, Dad. You deserve to rest. Let us handle the stress." The stress, the money, the house, the life. I thought about her voice 15 years ago, screaming at me in front of her college boyfriend. "You're embarrassing. Don't show up at my campus. You smell like diesel." I thought about the wedding invitation that never came. I thought about the calls that went to voicemail, then to nothing. I thought about the friend request I sent on her social media that she denied. Not ignored. Denied. "I appreciate you coming all this way," I said. I stood up slowly, feeling the room shift. Tyler tensed. Gloria's smile got tighter. Maddie just waited. "Lena will show you to your rooms," I said. "We'll talk more in the morning." I walked toward my office. Behind me, I heard Tyler start to say something, then stop. I heard Maddie's sharp intake of breath. She hadn't expected compliance, not this easily. I closed the office door, pulled out my phone, sent Lena one word: "Start." Then I sat in the dark and smiled. They had no idea what they'd just walked into. I didn't sleep. Not because I was angry. Anger would have been wasted energy. I stayed awake because I was planning, refining. 30 years of municipal work teaches you patience, teaches you how to read a situation, find the weakness, apply pressure exactly where it matters. They thought this was a negotiation. It wasn't. At 6 a.m., I heard movement in the guest wing, the unfinished section near the pool house where Lena had graciously assigned them rooms last night. Not the master suites, not the renovated East Wing with heated floors and ocean views. The spare rooms with temporary lighting, bare concrete in places, separate access control. Lena had been so apologetic about it. "Just for tonight," she'd said, all polite teeth and empty eyes. "Until we finalize the arrangements. I thought you'd want privacy." Privacy, isolation, tactical separation from my office, my safe, my network hub. But they didn't see it that way. Tyler had been insulted but tried to hide it. Gloria had pursed her lips. Maddie had frowned, just for a second, then painted the smile back on. I heard them arguing now. Walls in this place are thick, but the ventilation system carries sound if you know where to listen. Tyler and Maddie, going at it in harsh whispers. Should have been in the main house. She's controlling him. Told you we should have pushed harder last night. The first crack. Beautiful. At 7, I walked into the kitchen. Lena was making coffee, precise and efficient as always. She didn't look at me, but she tilted her head slightly toward the tablet on the counter. I glanced at the screen. Overnight audio logs, already transcribed. Maddie on the phone at 2 a.m., talking to someone. A lawyer, maybe, or a financial advisor. The words incapacitation claim and undue influence jumped out. So that was the play. Make me look incompetent. Make Lena look like a manipulator. Step in as the concerned family saving poor senile dad from the evil new wife. Standard playbook. Boring, really. Breakfast? Lena asked. Town, I said. Public breakfast. All of us. She understood immediately. I'll let them know. 20 minutes later, we were loading into 2 cars. Tyler drove Maddie, Gloria, and Norman in their rental SUV. I drove my truck, the same F-250 I'd had for 8 years, the one that still smelled like metal and concrete and honest work. Lena rode shotgun. Where are we going? Maddie called from the SUV. Celebrating, I called back. Family reunion. Her face did something complicated. She wasn't sure if I was mocking her or not. Good. The diner was called Rosie's, and it had been my regular spot since I moved to this town 3 years ago. Good people, real people, the kind who remember your order and know when to leave you alone. I'd spent a lot of quiet mornings here, reading the paper, drinking coffee that tasted like burnt truth, watching the ocean through salt-stained windows. When I walked in with Maddie, Tyler, Gloria, and Norman trailing behind me like a parade of expensive luggage, the place went quiet for exactly 2 seconds. Then Rosie herself, 70 if she was a day, tough as harbor rope, waved from behind the counter. Simon, haven't seen you in a week. Thought you finally got smart and started cooking. Wouldn't do that to myself, I said. I took my usual booth by the window, large enough for 6, perfect. Maddie slid in next to me, already performing. She touched my arm, leaned close, made her voice loud enough to carry. Daddy, this place is so charming. You've been coming here alone? We should have been here with you. Daddy, not Simon. She'd shifted tactics. Now we were doing the loving daughter show for the crowd. I let her play it out for exactly 30 seconds. Let her get comfortable. Let the diner see the performance. Then I spoke, calm and clear. Not loud, but not quiet either. This is my daughter, Maddie. I haven't seen her in 15 years. Last night, she and her husband and his parents arrived at my house with suitcases and announced they were here for their share of the $36 million I won in settlement. She also said they'd be needing their own rooms in my villa. The diner didn't go quiet this time. It went silent. The kind of silence that has weight. Rosie stopped wiping the counter. The guy at the corner table, Gary, local contractor, put his fork down. The waitress froze mid-pour. Everyone was staring now. Not at me. At Maddie. Gloria made a choking sound. Simon, this is private family business. Is it? I kept my voice level. Pleasant. Because Maddie made it pretty public when she showed up with legal documents trying to take financial control of my assets. Thought the community should know. Tyler's face went red, then white, then red again. He leaned across the table and hissed, You're humiliating us. No, son, I said. I smiled. I'm archiving you. Maddie stood up fast enough to bang her knee on the table. Coffee sloshed. We're leaving. Probably smart, Gary muttered from his corner. They scrambled out like roaches when the light hits. I watched them go. Watched Tyler almost trip over the doorframe. Watched Gloria pulling Norman's arm so hard he nearly fell. Watched Maddie's face, white, furious, panicked, as she realized what I'd just done. This town was small, coastal Maine small. Everyone knew everyone, and reputation was currency. She'd just lost hers. In one breakfast. In one calm, factual statement. Rosie came over after they left. That really your daughter? Was, I said, 15 years ago. And she showed up for money. She showed up to take it. Rosie poured my coffee. Well, that's harsh, Simon. 30 years in municipal work, I said. I've been colder. I drank my coffee, watched the ocean, and ignored the way half the diner was now texting furiously. By noon, the whole town would know. By evening, the whole county. That was fine. That was the plan. When I got back to the villa, Tyler was pacing the driveway, phone pressed to his ear, barking at someone about reputational damage and defamation. He saw me and hung up mid-sentence. "We need to talk," he said. "No," I said. "We don't." I walked past him. He grabbed my shoulder. Big mistake. I stopped, turned, looked at his hand on me, then at his face. "Remove it." He didn't. Lena's voice came from the porch. "Camera's recording, Tyler. Touch him again and it's assault on film." His hand dropped like I'd burned him. "Everything you do here is documented," Lena said. She wasn't smiling now. She never smiled when she was working. "Every threat, every physical contact, every attempt to coerce or intimidate. Do you understand?" Tyler's mouth opened, closed, opened again. "This is insane." "This is protection," Lena said. "Simon's protection. From you." He backed toward the house, shaking his head. "You're both insane. Maddie was right about you." "Maddie," I said, "hasn't been right about anything in 15 years. I walked inside. Lena followed. Behind us, Tyler was already on the phone again, probably calling Maddie, probably spiraling. Good. Let them spiral. Let them panic. Let them fracture. The storm was coming back. I could feel it in the air, taste it on the wind. The Atlantic was building something big, and it would hit tonight. Perfect timing. The storm rolled in at dusk, like God's own fist. Wind screamed off the ocean. Rain hit the glass walls hard enough to sound like gravel, and the lights flickered twice before the backup generators kicked in. The villa dropped to emergency mode. Red LED strips along the floors, minimal lighting, everything tinted like a crime scene. I stood in the main living room and watched the reeds gather. They'd been scattered through the house since this morning, probably searching, looking for account numbers, legal documents, anything they could use. Tyler had that desperate edge now. The public exposure at the diner had rattled him. Gloria kept glancing at Norman like she was waiting for him to fix this. And Maddie. Maddie was trying to rebuild her mask, but the cracks were showing. Then the doorbell rang. Not the front gate. Someone had bypassed that. Not the main entrance. Someone had come around the side. Lena checked the camera feed. It's Travis Reed, Tyler's younger brother, the muscle. I'd known he'd show eventually. "Let him in," I said. Lena looked at me. "Simon, let him in." She opened the door remotely. Travis came in like a storm himself, 6'2", gym body, all shoulders and attitude. He tracked water across my floor and didn't apologize. He saw Tyler and made a straight line for him. "Where's the old man?" Travis asked. "Right here," I said. He turned, looked me up and down, decided I wasn't a threat. "We need to talk, man to man." "Go ahead." Outside. I walked past him, out onto the covered section of the patio where the wind couldn't quite reach. Travis followed. So did Tyler and Maddie, and eventually the rest of them. They wanted to watch this. Wanted to see Big Brother Travis handle the problem they couldn't solve with words. Travis stood too close. Deliberate intimidation. "Here's how this works, old man. You're going to sign the paperwork tonight. Financial authority, medical authority, full access. You're going to do it because it's the smart play, and because if you don't, things get ugly." "Ugly how?" I asked. "You really want to find out?" "I want you to be specific. For the camera." He blinked. "What?" I pointed up. The patio had 3 cameras, all recording, all time-stamped, all backed up in real time. Travis's face changed. He looked at Tyler. "You said—" "Doesn't matter what he said." I kept my voice calm. "You just threatened me on my property, on camera, while trying to coerce me into signing over financial control. That's not just intimidation. That's potential elder abuse, and it's all documented." Travis's jaw tightened. He took a step forward. Here we go. I didn't move. Didn't square up. Didn't give him any reason to back down. Travis shoved me. Not hard enough to really hurt. He wasn't that stupid, but hard enough to make a point. I shifted my weight, turned my shoulder, let his momentum carry him past me. His foot hit the raised edge of the patio transition. He stumbled. I didn't help. He slammed into the steel bollard that separated the patio from the driveway, the one I'd raised remotely when he first pulled up, trapping his SUV. He hit it ribs first and went down hard, gasping. I didn't gloat, didn't stand over him. I just spoke clearly, for the camera. You attempted to coerce me into signing control of my finances. You threatened me. You made physical contact on my property. I am documenting this for my safety. Travis wheezed. Tyler moved like he was going to help, then stopped. Didn't crouch, didn't extend a hand. He just stood there, frozen. Maddie saw it. I watched her face. She saw Tyler abandon his own brother. Lena's voice came from the doorway. That footage is now evidence. If you attempt to file any claims of elder abuse or incompetence against Simon, we'll use it to show you're the aggressors. Travis pulled himself up, holding his side. You're out of your mind. Camera's still recording, Lena said. Keep talking. He didn't. He limped toward the driveway, got in his SUV. The bollards retracted remotely, Lena's doing, and peeled out into the rain. Tyler watched him go. Didn't call after him. Didn't apologize to me. He just stood there looking small. Inside, I said. Now. They followed me in. All of them. The storm was shaking the house now, wind rattling the glass, rain coming down in sheets. The emergency lighting made everything look wrong, faces too sharp, shadows too deep. I turned to face them in the living room. Here's what happens next, I said. We're going to have the conversation you came here to have, the real one. No more pretending this is about my safety or my well-being. We're going to talk about what you actually want and what you're actually going to get. Maddie lifted her chin. We want our share. Your share of what? The settlement, the house, everything. Why? She blinked. What do you mean, why? I'm your daughter. You were my daughter, I said. 15 years ago, before you decided I was embarrassing, before you told your friends I was toxic, before you blocked my number and erased me from your wedding and pretended I didn't exist. Her face went pale. That's not. It's completely true. I have the emails, Maddie. The messages you sent your mother before she was gone. The voicemails I left that you never returned. I have records of every attempt I made to reach you and every time you turned me away. Tyler stepped forward. That's ancient history. She's here now. She's here for money, I said. Not for me, for money. And you. I looked at Tyler. You're here because you're drowning. I ran your credit, Tyler. I know about the loans, the bad investments, the reputation you're barely holding on to. You need cash, and you need it now. His face went red. You have no right. I have every right to investigate people who show up at my house demanding access to my accounts. Gloria stood. This is outrageous. We're family. No, I said. You're Tyler's parents. You're strangers who decided I owe you something because your son married my estranged daughter. You're not family. You're opportunists. Norman's voice was cold. You can't talk to us like this. I can, I said. This is my house, and you're leaving, tonight. The lights flickered again. Thunder cracked so loud it felt like it split the air. We're not going anywhere, Maddie said. I smiled. Yes, you are. I pulled my phone out, tapped twice. The security system responded immediately. Magnetic locks engaged on the guest wing doors. Sealed. Interior access badges revoked. They couldn't get back to their rooms, couldn't get to their luggage, couldn't regroup in private. What did you just do? Tyler's voice went up an octave. Locked you out, I said. You wanted access to my house? You don't have it anymore. You wanted control? You never had it. This was never your home. It was never your money. And I was never your retirement plan. Maddie's mask finally shattered. You can't do this. We have rights. No, I said, you don't. Lena appeared with a thick folder, legal documents. She handed them to me. I held them up. This is the trust structure that controls all my assets. It was established 3 years ago when I first won the settlement. You're not in it, Maddie. You're explicitly excluded. And this, I pulled out another document. This is my durable medical power of attorney. Lena holds it, not you. And this, another paper. This is my will. You're disinherited. Completely. You receive nothing after I'm gone. Not this house, not a dollar, nothing. Maddie's knees buckled. She sat down hard on the couch. But we're here, Gloria said weakly. We moved in. You were never in, I said. The storm outside reached a crescendo. Something hit the roof, a branch maybe, or debris. The emergency lights flickered but held, and that's when I said it. Now we're going to talk about Cabo. Maddie's head snapped up. Her face went white as bone. What? Tyler asked. Cabo, I repeated. The vacation Maddie took 7 years ago, February. Remember that, Maddie? She didn't answer. I'll refresh your memory, I said. That was the week I had spinal surgery. Emergency procedure. The hospital called my emergency contact. You. They told you I was in recovery, confused, in pain, and needed someone there. I walked to my office. Came back with the audio recording already queued on my phone. Hit play. The nurse's voice. Miss Harlow, your father is asking for you. Can you... Maddie's voice, younger, carefree, annoyed. I'm on vacation. I'm not responsible for him. Call someone else. Nurse. There is no one else listed. Maddie. Not my problem. Click. The silence in the room was absolute. I pulled up my phone screen, showed them the photos. Maddie on a beach, Maddie with a cocktail. Maddie's Instagram from that same day. Finally free. Tyler was staring at his wife. Gloria's mouth was hanging open. Norman looked away. That's what you think of me, I said. That's who you are. So no, Maddie. You don't get a share. You don't get a room. You don't get forgiveness. You get exactly what you gave me. I walked to the wall panel by the sliding glass doors, pressed 2 buttons. The guest wing locks released. Not to let them back in, but to let them retrieve their luggage if they wanted to risk the storm. The outer gate at the end of the driveway opened, retracted. The way out was clear. Leave, I said. Maddie stood, shaking, tears on her face now, real ones. Dad, please. I'm not your dad, I said. I'm the man you abandoned for a beach vacation. I'm the wallet you came back to loot. That's all I ever was to you. I picked up the first suitcase, Tyler's probably, expensive leather, and opened the sliding glass door. The storm blasted in, cold and furious. I threw the suitcase out onto the patio. It landed hard, skidded, tipped over. Rain soaked it instantly. Then the next one, Gloria's, then Norman's. Maddie screamed, "Stop! You can't!" I threw hers last. It hit the stone, popped open, spilled clothes across the wet ground. Your things are outside, I said. So are you. Tyler tried to step forward. I pointed at the camera above the door. He stopped. This is my house, I said slowly, clearly. This is my money. This is my name. You don't live here. You don't touch a cent. You are done. I pressed the final command on the wall panel. The magnetic locks on all interior doors engaged. Total lockdown. They couldn't go anywhere but out. Maddie was sobbing now, shaking. She looked at Tyler. Tyler looked at his parents. His parents looked at nothing. Dad, wait! I slid the heavy glass door shut. The magnetic seal engaged with a clean final click. Her voice cut off mid-word. I locked eyes with her through the glass. Rain hammered down behind her. Her mascara ran. Her hair stuck to her face. She looked small, desperate, broken. Good. I turned my back and walked away. Behind me, I heard the outer door open. heard them scrambling in the storm, heard car doors, heard an engine start, then nothing but wind and rain and the sound of my own breathing. Lena stood beside me in the dark hallway. She didn't say anything, didn't need to. I looked at her. "It's done." She nodded. We walked back to the living room. The storm continued its assault on the glass. The emergency lights cast everything in red, and for the first time in 15 years, I felt whole. Not because I'd forgiven them, because I'd erased them. The storm eased around midnight. The wind fell still, the rain ceased, and the Atlantic sank into a restless calm. I stood on the patio where I'd thrown their luggage hours ago. Most of it was gone. They'd scrambled to collect what they could in the dark and wet. But some things remained. A ruined makeup case, a soaked pair of men's dress shoes, a phone charger tangled in a puddle, evidence of retreat. I picked up the shoes. Expensive. Italian leather, probably. Destroyed now. I threw them in the trash bin by the pool house. Lena came out with coffee. "Can't sleep?" "Don't need to." She handed me the mug. Stood beside me. We watched the ocean together, black water under cloud-broken moonlight. "They'll try again," she said. "I know. Legal action, claims of mental incompetence, elder abuse allegations. They'll paint you as manipulated by me." "Let them try." I sipped the coffee. It was bitter and perfect. "We have everything documented, every threat, every attempt at coercion, every word out of their mouths, and we have Cabo." Lena smiled, small, cold. Cabo was brilliant. Cabo was truth. I'd been carrying that recording for 7 years, waiting, not because I wanted revenge, I hadn't known I'd need it, but because some part of me had understood, even then, that the daughter who'd abandoned me in a hospital wasn't done taking from me. She'd just been waiting for something worth taking. "The town knows now," Lena said. "By tomorrow, the county knows. By next week, anyone who searches their names will find the story." Small-town gossip is its own ecosystem, brutal, efficient, self-sustaining. I'd weaponized it with a single breakfast conversation. Now it would spread on its own, mutating and growing with each retelling. Maddie Reed, formerly Harlow, who abandoned her father for 15 years and showed up with her husband's whole family to claim his settlement money. Maddie Reed, who said she wasn't responsible for her own father while he was recovering from surgery. Maddie Reed, the gold digger. That story would follow her forever. "Do you feel guilty?" Lena asked. "No. Not even a little." I thought about it. Searched for guilt. Found nothing. "She made her choice 15 years ago," I said. "She chose comfort over connection, status over family, and when what she'd rejected finally gained value, she came back, not for me, but for that. That's not a daughter. That's an opportunist." "And Tyler? Gloria? Norman?" "Accomplices." I finished the coffee. "They saw an opportunity and took it. That's not illegal, but it's not forgivable either." Lena took the empty mug. "And Travis?" "Travis was stupid enough to give us assault on camera. He's the least of my worries." We went back inside. The villa felt different now. Lighter, like something toxic had been purged. I slept for 4 hours, deep, dreamless. When I woke, Lena was already in the office, reviewing security footage from the night before. She'd pulled up the driveway camera, timestamp 11:47 p.m., the Reeds loading their soaked luggage into their rental SUV, Tyler struggling with a stuck zipper, Gloria crying, Norman sitting in the passenger seat, staring at nothing, Maddie in the back, face buried in her hands. "They went to the North Point Motel," Lena said. "Checked in at 12:20 a.m., paid cash." "How do you know?" "I called, asked if they had vacancies. The night clerk was chatty." Of course she did. Lena didn't leave things to chance. "They'll regroup," I said. "Figure out their next move." "What do you think it'll be?" "Lawyers. They'll try to build a case that I'm mentally unfit and you're manipulating me. They'll dig for any medical records that suggest cognitive decline. They'll look for witnesses who'll say I'm forgetful, confused, vulnerable. Will they find any? No. I pulled up my own medical files on the tablet. I get annual cognitive assessments through my settlement health coverage. Last one was 3 months ago. Perfect scores. No signs of dementia, no signs of decline. I'm sharper now than I was at 40. And character witnesses? Everyone in this town saw what happened at Rosie's. They saw a man calmly state facts about his daughter showing up for money. They didn't see an old man being manipulated. They saw a competent adult defending himself. Lena nodded. So legally, they have nothing. Legally, they're done. But emotionally? I looked at her. What do you mean? Maddie will try again. Not through lawyers, through emotion. She'll call, she'll write. She'll show up crying and apologetic. She'll say she made a mistake. She's sorry. She just wants her dad back. I won't answer. You sure? I thought about the hospital, the phone call, the nurse's voice asking if anyone could come. The way I'd felt, small, scared, alone, knowing my own daughter had refused. I'm sure, I said, but Lena was right. 3 days later, the letter arrived. Handwritten. Maddie's handwriting. I recognized it from birthday cards she'd sent when she was young, before she decided I was embarrassing. Dad, I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you. I know I made terrible choices. I was young and stupid and selfish, and I can't take any of it back. But I want to try. I want to rebuild. I want you in my life. Not your money, not your house. Just you. Please give me a chance. Please let me prove I've changed. Your daughter, Maddie. I read it twice. Then I put it in the shredder. Lena watched. Not even tempted? No. Why not? Because she's not sorry. She's strategic. This is attempt number 2. When lawyers don't work, try tears. How do you know? I pulled up my email, showed her the message I'd received that morning from a lawyer in Portland. Not my lawyer, a stranger. Subject line: regarding potential conservatorship proceedings. The email was polite, professional, and clear. Madison Reed had consulted them about filing for conservatorship over Simon Harlow due to concerns about mental competence and potential undue influence from his spouse. She wrote the letter to establish a paper trail, I said. Look, Your Honor, I tried to reach out. I tried to reconnect. He refused all contact. That proves he's being isolated and controlled. Lena's face went hard. Do we respond? To the lawyer? Yes. We send them my medical records, the security footage from the confrontation, the audio from Cabo, and a very polite letter explaining that any further attempts to pursue conservatorship will be met with a countersuit for harassment and defamation. And to Maddie? Nothing. She gets silence. That's all she deserves. I sent the response that afternoon. Never heard from that lawyer again. But Maddie didn't stop. Week 2. She showed up at Rosie's diner. I wasn't there. I'd started going at different times, different days, specifically to avoid this. But Rosie told me later. Maddie had come in alone, looking defeated. Ordered coffee. Asked Rosie if she'd seen me. Rosie, God bless her, had said, "Not lately." Maddie had left a note. Asked Rosie to give it to me. Rosie handed it to me the next morning. Want me to trash it? Please. She did. Right there in front of me. Didn't even ask what it said. Week 3, phone calls, unknown numbers. I didn't answer. Voicemails piled up. I deleted them without listening. Week 4. She tried to go through old family friends, people who'd known me before the settlement, before Lena, before everything. They called me, awkward and pleading. Simon, she's your daughter. She's trying. Can't you just talk to her? I told them the same thing every time. She had 15 years to talk to me. She waited until I had money. That's all I need to know. Most of them stopped calling after that, but some didn't. Some kept pushing. They wanted the reconciliation story, the heartwarming ending. Father and daughter reunited at last. I blocked their numbers too. Month 2. Lena came to me with news. Tyler filed for bankruptcy. When? Last week. It's public record now. I pulled up the filing. Tyler Reed, $340,000 in debt, failed real estate investments, defaulted loans, creditors circling. No wonder he'd been so desperate. No wonder he'd tried so hard to get access to my accounts. And Maddie? I asked. Joint filing. They're both underwater. I felt something then. Not pity, not satisfaction, just nothing. They'd bet everything on me being an easy mark. They'd lost. That was their choice. Month 3. The private investigator's report arrived. I'd hired him after the confrontation, just to cover all bases. I wanted to know everything about the people who'd invaded my home. What I got was worse than I'd expected. Tyler had done this before. Not the exact same con, but close. He'd married into money twice before Maddie. First wife's father was a retired surgeon. Tyler had tried to get financial control during a health scare. Didn't work. They divorced. Second wife's mother owned a successful bakery chain. Tyler had pushed for a family investment opportunity that would have given him access to business accounts. Didn't work. They divorced too. Maddie was wife number 3, and I was target number 3. Predatory, professional, calculated. I showed Lena the report. She read it in silence, then looked at me. We should have known. We know now. Should we tell Maddie? Why? Because she's being used. Tyler married her for access to you. She came here for my money, I said. He came here for my money. They deserved each other. Lena didn't argue. The investigator's report also included something else. Travis had a warrant out for assault in another state. Bar fight. He'd skipped bail. I sent that information to the local police. Anonymous tip. They picked him up 2 days later. One less problem. Month 4. Silence. No calls, no letters, no attempts through intermediaries. I thought maybe it was over. I was wrong. The first sign was subtle. A car parked on the access road that led to my property. Not directly in front of the gate, just nearby. Close enough to watch, far enough to pretend they weren't watching. Silver sedan, rental plates. Driver stayed inside, windows tinted. Lena noticed it first. 3 days in a row now. Same car. Same spot, different times. Morning, afternoon, evening. They're surveilling. Or building a case for harassment, showing you're paranoid and unstable. That was smart thinking. If they couldn't prove I was mentally incompetent, maybe they could provoke me into acting unstable. Get me on camera yelling, threatening, losing control. Then they'd have their evidence. I wouldn't give it to them. Ignore it, I said. Don't approach. Don't acknowledge. Just document. Lena set up an additional camera pointed at the access road. Time-stamped. Continuous recording. The car disappeared after day 5. But something else started. Small things. Things that could have been coincidence but weren't. My trash cans knocked over. Not by animals. Too precise, too deliberate. Mailbox damaged. Not destroyed, just bent. Like someone had kicked it. A rock through the pool house window. Not the main house. Too risky, too much security. But the pool house had older glass, older locks. Lena wanted to call the police. I said no. Why not? Because that's what they want. They want me to look like the aggressor. Old man with too much money, persecuting his poor estranged daughter. So we do nothing? We document everything. We wait. We let them escalate. Escalate to what? Something prosecutable. It happened 2 weeks later. I was in town, picking up supplies, hardware store, grocery, normal errands. When I got back, Lena was standing in the driveway, phone in hand, face tight. Someone was in the house, she said. When? 20 minutes ago. Triggered the silent alarm. I checked the cameras. She pulled up the footage on her tablet. Showed me. 2:17 p.m., side door to the garage opens. Not forced, opened with a key or a bypass code. 2:18 p.m., figure in dark clothes, face covered, Enters the main house through the garage entrance. 2:19 p.m. Figure moves through the hallway toward my office. 2:21 p.m. Figure exits, fast, empty-handed. 2:22 p.m. Side door closes. Did they take anything? I asked. Nothing visible, but they were in your office for 2 minutes. I went inside. Office looked untouched. Safe was still locked. Biometric. Impossible to crack without my fingerprint. Desk drawers closed, computer off, but the papers on my desk were slightly off angle. Someone had looked through them. What was on the desk? Lena asked. Medical records, financial statements, nothing sensitive. I keep those locked, but enough to give them information. Information about what? About what I own, where it's held, who manages it. Lena's eyes narrowed. They're planning something. Yeah. Do we call the police now? I thought about it. Break in. Documented on camera. Clear evidence, but... Did you get a face? I asked. No, covered. Gloves, too. Then we can't prove who it was. We can prove someone broke in. And they'll say it was random. Wrong house. Didn't take anything, so no harm done. Case closed. Lena swore under her breath. So again, we do nothing? We upgrade security. We move sensitive documents to the bank. And we wait. For what? For them to get desperate. We didn't have to wait long. 3 days later, Maddie showed up at the gate. Not with Tyler, not with her in-laws, alone, mid-afternoon. She looked thinner, tired. Her hair wasn't styled. No makeup. She wore jeans and a sweatshirt. The old Maddie, before she decided I was embarrassing Maddie. She pressed the intercom button. Her voice came through the speaker. Dad? It's me. Please. I just want to talk. I watched her on the camera feed. She wasn't performing this time. No big gestures. No fake tears. She just stood there, looking small. Lena stood beside me. What do you want to do? Nothing. Simon. She broke into my house. You don't know that. She or Tyler or someone they hired. Doesn't matter. That's her play now. On the screen, Maddie pressed the button again. I know you're there. I know you can hear me. I'm not here for money. I'm not here to take anything. I miss you. I miss my dad. Something in my chest tightened. Old muscle memory. The instinct to protect, to comfort, to forgive. I pushed it down. I'm sorry, Maddie said to the camera. To me. I'm so sorry for all of it. Cabo, the wedding, all the years. I was wrong, I was cruel, and I don't expect you to forgive me. But I need you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. And I hate myself for it. Lena looked at me. That sounded real. It always does. What if it is real? What if she actually... Then she can prove it by leaving me alone. I turned away from the screen, walked to the kitchen, made coffee, stood there listening to the machine hiss and drip while Maddie's voice kept coming through the intercom. Please, Dad. Please. I'll do anything. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll stay away if that's what you want. Just, please don't hate me. I can't live with you hating me. I drank my coffee. It was too hot. Burned my tongue. Good. Maddie stayed at the gate for 40 minutes. Then she left. Lena came into the kitchen. You okay? Fine. She's breaking. Good. Simon. Lena's voice was careful, gentle. I know what they did. I know what she did. But she's still your daughter. I looked at her. Is she? Because daughters don't abandon their fathers in hospitals. Daughters don't show up after 15 years with their hands out. Daughters don't hire people to break into houses looking for financial documents. You don't know she did that. I know enough. Lena didn't push. She knew better. But that night, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, I thought about what she'd said. She's still your daughter, was she? Biologically, yes. Legally, maybe. Though I'd had papers drawn up cutting her from the will, from the trust, from everything. But actually, in any way that mattered? No. She'd given that up. Years ago. And showing up now, performing regret, didn't change what she'd done. It just proved she'd learned a new tactic. I fell asleep thinking about the hospital, about lying there, confused and in pain, listening to the nurse say, "Your daughter said she's not responsible for you." That memory was sharper than any apology could dull. The next morning, I got a call from my lawyer. "Simon, we have a problem." "What kind?" "Madison Reed filed a petition for guardianship. She's claiming you're mentally incompetent and being financially exploited by your wife." There it was, the legal play. I'd been waiting for it. "When's the hearing?" I asked. 2 weeks. You'll need to appear in person. Bring documentation, medical records, financial statements, character witnesses. I have all of that. Good. Because they're bringing their own expert witness, a psychologist who's going to testify that you're showing signs of cognitive decline. Based on what? Based on an evaluation they did remotely. Phone interview, apparently. I never did a phone interview with any psychologist. That's what I told them. They claim you don't remember. I laughed. Couldn't help it. They're fabricating evidence now? Looks like it, which is good for us. It means they're desperate, but we still need to show up and prove it. I'll be there. I hung up. Told Lena. She swore. Guardianship. They're going all in. And they're going to lose. How do you know? I pulled out the folder I'd been building for months. Medical records, cognitive assessments, financial documentation showing every decision I'd made was sound, informed, and legally protected. Character statements from people in town, security footage from the confrontation, and the Cabo recording. Because I'm not the villain in this story, I said. They are. The courthouse was old granite and newer glass, perched on a hill overlooking the harbor. I arrived early with Lena and my lawyer, Marcus, 50s, sharp suit, sharper mind. He specialized in elder law and estate protection. He'd seen this play before. "They'll try to paint you as confused," Marcus said. "They'll point to any inconsistency in your testimony as evidence of decline. Stay calm. Answer directly. Don't volunteer information." "I know." "And don't engage with Madison emotionally. That's what she wants. She wants you to get angry or sad or defensive. Don't give her anything." We walked into the courtroom. Maddie was already there, sitting at the petitioner's table with Tyler and a lawyer I didn't recognize. Younger guy, expensive glasses, the kind who practices elder law from the exploitation side. Next to them sat a woman in a blazer, holding a folder. The expert witness, the psychologist who'd supposedly evaluated me. Maddie looked up when I entered. Our eyes met. Hers were red, like she'd been crying. For a second, just a second, I felt something. Then I remembered the hospital. The phone call. Not my problem. I sat down. The judge entered. Woman, mid-60s, gray hair, reading glasses. The Honorable Patricia Vance. I'd looked her up. 20 years on the bench, known for being meticulous and having no patience for nonsense. Good. Case number 47 to 2025, the clerk announced. Madison Reed versus Simon Harlow, petition for guardianship. Judge Vance looked up. "Ms. Reed, you're the petitioner?" Maddie stood. "Yes, Your Honor." "And you're seeking full guardianship over your father, claiming he's mentally incompetent and subject to undue influence?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Mr. Harlow, you're opposing this petition?" I stood. "Yes, Your Honor." "All right. Ms. Reed, you may present your case." Maddie's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client is deeply concerned about her father's welfare. Simon Harlow is 60 years old and recently came into a substantial settlement, $36 million. Since that time, he's married a woman significantly younger than himself." "Objection," Marcus said. "Relevance?" "I'm establishing a pattern of behavior that suggests cognitive decline and vulnerability to manipulation." Judge Vance looked skeptical, but nodded. "Proceed." but get to the point. The lawyer continued. Mr. Harlow has isolated himself from his family. He refuses contact with his daughter. He's made erratic financial decisions. Specify, the judge said. The lawyer shuffled papers. He purchased a villa valued at $8 million. He's established a complex trust structure that excludes his only child from inheritance. He's granted complete financial and medical authority to his wife while cutting off contact with his biological family. Those sound like competent decisions to me, Judge Vance said dryly. What's your evidence of incompetence? We have an expert witness, Your Honor, Dr. Lena Cross, a licensed psychologist specializing in geriatric cognitive decline. The woman in the blazer stood, sworn in, seated. Dr. Cross, the lawyer said, did you evaluate Simon Harlow? I did, through a remote consultation. And what were your findings? Mr. Harlow showed signs of confusion, memory gaps, and susceptibility to suggestion. In my professional opinion, he's in the early stages of cognitive decline, likely dementia. He's vulnerable to exploitation. Marcus stood. Objection. The witness is testifying about an evaluation that never occurred. Dr. Cross frowned. I spoke with Mr. Harlow on the phone. When? Marcus asked. March 15th, approximately 30 minutes. Your Honor, Marcus said, I have my client's phone records for that date. There is no call to or from Dr. Cross's number. This evaluation is fabricated. The courtroom went quiet. Judge Vance leaned forward. Dr. Cross, do you have documentation of this call? Recordings? Notes with timestamps? Dr. Cross hesitated. I have notes, but no recording, no timestamp, no proof the call occurred. The notes. Let me see them. Dr. Cross handed over the folder. Judge Vance read for 30 seconds, then looked up. These notes are generic. They could apply to any patient. They reference no specific conversation. Dr. Cross, did you actually speak with Mr. Harlow, or did you prepare this evaluation based on information provided by the petitioner? Based on the consultation. That's perjury, Doctor. Judge Vance's voice was ice. You're testifying to an evaluation that didn't happen. I'm dismissing your testimony, and I'm referring this matter to the State Licensing Board. Dr. Cross went pale. Maddie's lawyer tried to salvage it. Your Honor, even without Dr. Cross's testimony, we have other concerns. Mr. Harlow's behavior. Let's hear from Mr. Harlow, the judge said. Mr. Harlow, please take the stand. I stood, walked to the witness box, sworn in. Judge Vance looked at me. Mr. Harlow, do you understand why you're here? Yes, Your Honor. My daughter is trying to take control of my assets by claiming I'm mentally incompetent. And are you? No, Your Honor. Tell me about the settlement. I did. Explained the 30 years of municipal infrastructure work, the unsafe conditions, the contractor fraud, the legal battle, the $36 million award, clear, direct, competent. And the trust structure? The judge asked. Established 3 years ago with the help of my legal and financial advisors. It protects my assets from creditors, lawsuits, and opportunistic family members. My daughter is excluded because she had no contact with me for 15 years prior to learning about the settlement. Why did she have no contact? She cut me off when she was 18, told me I was embarrassing, blocked my number, didn't invite me to her wedding. I have documentation of all attempts I made to reach her. And when did she re-establish contact? The day after the settlement became public record. She showed up at my house with her husband, his parents, and luggage. She announced they were there for their share and needed rooms in my villa. Judge Vance's eyebrows went up. She moved in? Attempted to. I refused. And she's claiming this refusal is evidence of incompetence? Yes, Your Honor. The judge looked at Maddie. Ms. Reed, is this accurate? Maddie stood. Your Honor, I made mistakes when I was young. I'm trying to make amends. My father is shutting me out because his wife is manipulating. Do you have evidence of manipulation? The judge asked. She controls his medical decisions. She controls his finances. With his consent? He's not thinking clearly. That's what we're here to determine. Mr. Harlow, did you grant your wife medical and financial authority? Yes, Your Honor. 3 years ago. She's my wife. I trust her. And your daughter? Why exclude her? I pulled out my phone, loaded the audio file. May I play something for the court? The judge nodded. I played it. The nurse. Maddie's voice. Not my problem. The courtroom was silent. That, I said, is why she's excluded. Judge Vance's face was unreadable. When was this recorded? 7 years ago. I was recovering from spinal surgery. The hospital called my emergency contact. My daughter, she was on vacation. She refused to come. And you've carried this recording for 7 years? I kept it for my own records. I didn't know I'd need it like this. The judge looked at Maddie. Ms. Reed, is this your voice? Maddie's face was red. I was young. I was scared. I didn't know. That's a yes or no question. Yes, but thank you. Sit down. Maddie sat. Judge Vance looked at Marcus. Counsel, do you have additional evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Marcus stood. We have medical records showing Mr. Harlow has no cognitive decline. We have financial records showing every decision he's made is sound and well documented. We have security footage showing the petitioner and her family attempting to coerce Mr. Harlow into signing over financial authority. And we have witness statements from the community attesting to Mr. Harlow's competence. Submit it all. Marcus did. It took 20 minutes. The judge reviewed everything in silence. Finally, she spoke. I'm denying the petition for guardianship. Mr. Harlow is clearly competent. He's made informed decisions about his estate, his medical care, and his family relationships. The petitioner has provided no credible evidence of incompetence or undue influence. Furthermore, I'm sanctioning the petitioner's counsel for presenting false expert testimony. Maddie's lawyer started to protest. The judge cut him off. You brought a witness who lied under oath. That's on you. You'll pay Mr. Harlow's legal fees. Both of you, Ms. Reed and counsel, are barred from filing any further petitions regarding Mr. Harlow's competency for a period of 5 years. If you try, I'll hold you in contempt. Are we clear? Yes, Your Honor, the lawyer muttered. Maddie said nothing, just stared at the table. We're adjourned. The gavel came down. I stood, walked out of the courtroom with Lena and Marcus. Behind me, I heard Maddie crying, Tyler trying to console her, their lawyer muttering about appeals. None of it mattered. I'd won. Outside the courthouse, Marcus shook my hand. That was clean. No drama, just facts. That's all it took. She'll probably try again. Different angle. Let her try. Marcus left. Lena and I walked to the truck. Halfway across the parking lot, I heard footsteps running behind us. I turned. Maddie. Alone. Tyler must have stayed inside. Dad, wait. Don't. Please, just listen. No. I'm sorry. I know I can't fix it. I know I ruined everything. But I need you to know I'm sorry. I looked at her. Really looked. She was thinner. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair unwashed. She looked desperate. Good. You're sorry you lost, I said. Not sorry for what you did. That's not true. You came to my house for money. You tried to take control of my life. You hired someone to lie under oath. And now you're sorry because it didn't work. I was desperate. Tyler, Don't blame him. You made your choices. I was young when I cut you off. I didn't understand. You understood. You understood I was blue-collar and embarrassing. You understood I didn't fit your new life. You understood that perfectly. Her face crumpled. I can't live with this. I can't live with you hating me. Then don't. I turned and walked away. She didn't follow. The weeks after the hearing were quiet. Too quiet. I kept waiting for the next move, but nothing came. Maddie and Tyler disappeared. No calls, no letters, no surveillance. Maybe they finally gave up, Lena said. Maybe. But I didn't believe it. 6 weeks later, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Mr. Harlow? A woman's voice. Professional. Cold. My name is Janet Reeves. I'm a social worker with Adult Protective Services. I'm calling regarding a report we received about your welfare. My stomach dropped. What report? An anonymous report claiming you're being financially exploited and isolated by your spouse. I need to conduct a wellness check. May I come to your residence? When? Today. This afternoon. I looked at Lena. She was already searching for Janet Reeves's credentials on her tablet. Fine, I said. 2 p.m. Janet Reeves arrived exactly on time. Mid-40s, government blazer, tired eyes. She had the look of someone who'd seen too much but kept doing the job anyway. I let her in, showed her the house, answered her questions. Mr. Harlow, do you feel safe in your home? Yes. Do you have access to your own finances? Yes. Has anyone pressured you to sign financial documents? Yes. My daughter and her husband. That's why I have a restraining order in process. Her pen stopped. Restraining order? They showed up uninvited, tried to coerce me into signing power of attorney, and broke into my property. It's all documented. Would you like to see the evidence? Yes, please. I showed her everything. Security footage, police reports, court transcripts, medical records. She reviewed it all in silence. Mr. Harlow, she said finally, whoever filed this report lied. You're clearly not being exploited. You're protecting yourself from exploitation. Can you tell me who filed it? It was anonymous, but between us, the details match almost exactly what your daughter claimed in court. So she filed a false report to harass me. I can't prove that, but yes, that's my assessment. After she left, I sat on the patio and stared at the ocean. They're not going to stop, Lena said. No. What do? We make them stop. How? We go on offense. I'd been thinking about this for weeks. They weren't going to stop until they had nothing left to fight with, so I'd take it from them. Tyler's bankruptcy is public record, I said. His reputation is destroyed, but he's still taking clients, still pretending to be legitimate. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows what he is. I pulled out my phone, started typing. Email to every real estate board in the state. Subject line, fraud alert, Tyler Reed. Body, professional history attached. Pattern of predatory behavior documented. Recommend investigation. I attached the investigator's report, the one showing Tyler's pattern of marrying for money, the 3 wives, the 3 targets. Hit send. Then I posted it online. Real estate forums, community boards, review sites, everywhere Tyler's name might come up. By the end of the day, it was everywhere. By the end of the week, Tyler's phone was ringing off the hook, not with clients, but with angry former marks wanting their money back. I didn't feel guilty. I felt efficient. 2 weeks later, Tyler called me. I answered. What? You awful man. His voice trembled. You ruined me, my career, my reputation, everything. You did that yourself? I just made sure people knew. I'll sue you. Defamation, libel. You'll do nothing. Everything I posted is true. You can't sue someone for telling the truth. Maddie's devastated. I don't care. She's your daughter. No, she's the woman who abandoned me for 15 years and came back for money. That's all she is. He was crying now. We're broke. We lost everything. Good. I hung up. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not from guilt. I didn't feel any. But because something was unfinished. They could rebuild, move to a new state, start over. In 5 years, they'd be someone else's problem. That wasn't acceptable. The next morning, I called Marcus. I want to file for a restraining order, permanent, against Madison, Tyler, Gloria, Norman, and Travis Reed. On what grounds? Harassment, attempted coercion, breaking and entering, False legal claims. I have documentation for all of it. That's extensive. This will burn every bridge. If you ever change your mind about Maddie, I won't. People do. Parents forgive. I'm not forgiving. I'm finishing. The restraining order was granted 3 weeks later. Permanent. 500 feet minimum distance. No contact through any means. Violation meant immediate arrest. I had the order framed, hung it in my office. Lena saw it and shook her head. That's dark. That's final. Spring came to the coast. I spent my days working on the villa. New garden beds, better lighting, small projects that gave me something to focus on. Lena watched me with careful eyes. You've been quiet. I'm fine. Are you? I put down the shovel. You think I should feel bad? I think you should feel something. I do. I feel resolved. Not happy, not sad, resolved. Is that wrong? You tell me. I looked at the ocean. I spent 15 years waiting for her to come back. When she finally did, it wasn't for me. It was for what I had. That hurt worse than if she'd never come back at all. So you're hurt. I was hurt. Now I'm just done. Done hurting or done feeling? Both. Lena was quiet. Then, she's gone, Simon. They're all gone. You won. So why do you still look like you're fighting? Because I am. Against what? The part of me that wants to forgive her. Lena's eyes widened. You want to forgive her? Part of me does. The dad part. The part that remembers teaching her to ride a bike. That part wants to believe she's really sorry. But you don't trust it. I don't trust her. And if I can't trust her, I can't forgive her. That night, I dreamed about the hospital, the surgery, the nurse. Maddie's voice. Not my problem. I woke at 3 a.m. sweating. Lena was awake too. Same dream? Yeah. Every night this week. She rolled over, faced me. You need to deal with this. I am dealing with it. No, you're punishing her. That's not the same. What's the difference? Dealing with it means accepting she hurt you and moving on. Punishing her means you're still tied to her. She doesn't control anything. Then why are you dreaming about her every night? I didn't have an answer. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in months. I pulled up Maddie's social media. Her last post was from 2 weeks ago. A photo of her and Tyler in front of a small apartment. Caption, New Beginnings. She looked tired. Older. One comment stood out. You reap what you sow. Maddie had replied, I know. I closed the browser. That afternoon, I got a package. No return address. Inside was a letter. Maddie's handwriting. Dad, I'm not trying to contact you. I know about the restraining order. I just need to say this, then I'll leave you alone forever. You were right about everything. I was selfish. Cruel. I abandoned you when you needed me and came back when I wanted something. That's unforgivable. Tyler and I are done. I'm starting from scratch. New city, new job, new everything. I don't expect forgiveness. But I want you to know I finally understand what I did. And I'm sorry. Not because I lost. Because I hurt you. I hope you're happy. And I hope someday you can think of me without hate. Maddie, I read it twice. Showed Lena. She read it. What are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing? She said she's not asking for a response, so I'm not giving one. Do you believe her? I don't know. Maybe. But it doesn't matter. Why not? Because sorry doesn't undo Cabo. Sorry doesn't undo 15 years. Sorry is just a word. So you're not going to forgive her. No. Ever? Probably not. I put the letter in a drawer, closed it, walked away. But I thought about it for days. Finally, I pulled it out again, wrote a response. Not to send, just to process. Maddie, I got your letter. I don't forgive you. I may never forgive you. But I don't hate you either. I'm just done with you. You're not part of my life anymore. You're just someone I used to know. I hope your fresh start works out, but somewhere far away from me. Simon. I read it, folded it, put it in the drawer with her letter. Then I went outside and watched the ocean. For the first time in months, I felt light. Not happy, not sad, just light. Lena was right. Letting go didn't mean forgiving. It just meant stopping. I stopped. Summer settled over the coast. I spent mornings on the patio with coffee and silence, watching the Atlantic. Lena and I wrote our wills. Proper ones, ironclad. Everything went to charities. Hospitals that actually cared for people, foundations that helped injured workers. Maddie wasn't mentioned. She simply didn't exist in the document. Done, Lena said. Sign here. I signed. Felt nothing. We sat together in the sun. You seem better, Lena said. I am. What changed? I stopped waiting. For what? For her to come back. For the other shoe to drop. The war's over. I won. So I'm living like I won. That afternoon, Marcus called. Simon, Tyler, and Madison Reed filed for divorce. It's public record. Okay. That's it? What else is there? I thought you'd have a reaction. I don't. They're not my problem anymore. Also, Tyler lost everything. He's working retail now. Good for him. Marcus laughed. You really don't care, do you? Not even a little. A week later, I saw Gloria Reed in town. She froze when she saw me. I kept walking. Simon, she called. I stopped, turned. Don't. Please, we're sorry. You're right. You shouldn't have. Now you're dealing with the consequences. Maddie's destroyed, can't you? No. I walked away. That night, I slept without dreaming. No hospitals, no phone calls, just deep, restful sleep. I woke at dawn, made coffee, stood on the patio. The ocean was loud, alive. Lena came out. You're up early. Couldn't sleep? Didn't need to. I feel good. We watched the sunrise together. You know what I realized? I said. What? I wasted 30 years breaking my body for people who didn't care. Then 15 years mourning a daughter who didn't want me. Now I'm finally spending my time the way I should have. On me. On us. On things that matter. Better late than never. We finished our coffee. Started our day. Normal things. Good things. And for the first time in decades, I wasn't waiting for something to go wrong. Because nothing was going to go wrong. I'd made sure of it. The storm came back in September, steady, persistent. I stood in the living room watching rain hammer the glass. Lena was in Portland for the day. I was alone. The gate intercom buzzed. I checked the camera. My stomach turned to stone. Maddie, soaked. No car, no Tyler. Just her, standing in the rain. I didn't answer. She pressed the button again. Dad, I know you're there. Please. I'm not here to ask for anything. I just need to talk. 5 minutes. I should have called the police. She was violating the restraining order. But I didn't. I opened the gate remotely. Watched her walk up the driveway. She stopped at the door. I opened it. 5 minutes, I said. She stepped inside, dripping. I'm leaving. Maine, the state. I got a job in Colorado, far away. I'm not asking for your blessing. I just needed to see you one more time before I go. Why? Because you're my dad. And I ruined that. And I need to say it to your face. I'm sorry. I'm so incredibly sorry. For all of it. You said that already. I know. But I need you to see that I mean it. I looked at her. Really looked. Thinner than ever. Dark circles. Worn clothes. Someone who'd lost everything. I believe you, I said. Her eyes widened. You do? Yes. Then can we... No. The hope faded. Why? Because believing you're sorry isn't the same as forgiving you. And forgiving you isn't the same as letting you back in. You hurt me for 15 years. Then you tried to destroy me. I can accept that you regret it, but I can't accept you. She was crying. So that's it? Forever? Yes. I'm your daughter. You are my daughter. Now you're just someone who shares my DNA. Dad, your 5 minutes are up. She turned toward the door, stopped. Do you hate me? No. Then what do you feel? I thought about it. Nothing. Her face crumpled. She walked out into the rain. I closed the door, locked it, walked back to the living room, sat down, felt nothing, not relief, not sadness, not anger, just empty calm. Lena came home 3 hours later. How was your day? Quiet. That night, I stood on the patio one last time. The storm had cleared. Stars were visible. I thought about Maddie somewhere out there, starting over. I hoped it worked out. Not because I cared, but because I wanted her far away and stable so she'd never come back. I thought about Tyler, working retail, divorced, broke. I felt nothing. I thought about the 36 million that had started all this. It hadn't bought happiness, but it had bought truth, and control, and peace. That was enough. I went inside, closed the door, sealed it with the magnetic lock. Lena was making tea. You okay? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. She kissed my cheek. Good, because I'm tired of worrying about you. You don't have to anymore. Promise? Promise. We sat together in the quiet house, drinking tea, listening to the ocean. Outside, the world was dark and cold. Inside, it was warm. And for the first time in 15 years, I wasn't waiting for anything. I was just living.